Welcome back, everyone, to the Biblical Hitman. I'm your host, Steven. I'm here with Jesse, and today we're bringing you an emergency broadcast. It's been a while since we've done one of these, but there's some news that has been going around, and that's the Pope is dead. The Pope died.
The Pope is dead.
The Pope is dead. And so we're going to get into some chit-chat about it.
What is he
because
dead?
it's who knows, dude, right? Like, where's the medical report, and where's the 911 dispatch call of that,
I was
right?
watching some of the live service last night on TikTok or whatever it was. And I don't know how many days that goes on for, but it was pretty they were singing, the cardinals were all chanting and singing, and
Really?
it was pretty
See, I didn't catch that. I didn't see that.
luxurious. It's
Nah.
gold everywhere.
Really?
Mm.
Wow. Big ceremony. He passed away at 88 years old. 88. Yes. There's some occultic stuff behind the number, but I mean,
Like
who
what?
knows? I looked it up the other day, and I don't think it had anything too cryptic about it, so I didn't even really pay too much attention to it. But let me see. 88 in the occult.
8 plus 8 is 16. 1 plus 6 is
So
7.
it says the number 8 being the symbol of the infinity. 88 symbolizes the double directions of the infinity of the universe. That is to say, the infinitely small and the infinitely large. Interesting, right? I know Klaus Schwab stepped down from the World Economic Forum at 88 years old. Again, I'm just kind of in a way parroting, what I've seen on short clips and stuff. But you can actually go and fact check this stuff, and it to be true. So
It to be true. That was recent, Klaus Schwab, right?
Yes.
Very recent,
very recent.
A little bit before the Pope died.
Yeah, and so the whole big shebang with all this is the whole prophecy of the last Pope, right? The last Pope prophecy that was, and it's not really, maybe it is a prophecy, whatever, but this was, I had it right here. Let me see if I can pull it up just to give the, official story. So, the prophecy of the popes is a series of 112 short cryptic phrases in Latin which purport to predict the Catholic popes, beginning with Celestine II until now. Right? So there's 112 popes. This guy, Pope Francis, who passed away, God bless his soul, R.I.P., right?
R.I.P.
He was the 111th Pope. So, there's one more to come. And that and the cryptic thing about the whole thing is the 112th Pope, right? According to Saint Malachi, right, who's the one who came up with all this stuff. That last Pope is destruction. It's like judgment. It's you can kind of draw conclusions that it's Armageddon or something,
Right.
or
Right.
there's a lot of parallels with the Revelation, this, that, it gets all weird, right? So
maybe there's no need for a Pope anymore. Just the one world religion is coming in. And
so I have that in my notes here, which I do think is the outcome of whoever is to step in next. I think that they're going to do whatever it is that they're going to do, right? Who knows what it's going to be, but it's going to do something to draw in all of the religions. It's going to be a very impactful leader in the world. I think things are going to change.
Well,
might get pretty radical and liberal in that area of religion, right?
Who's the guy that stepped in? Who's the guy that stepped in his place?
I don't know. Look that up.
Yeah, let me look him up real quick because he looked like Spanish.
While you're looking that up, Pope Francis was the first Jesuit pope, I believe, and he was a Jesuit, And so being a Jesuit, he's involved with, I'm sure, like Mount Graham and the Lucifer telescope that's there. I mean, it's not the Lucifer is a device that's used with the telescope. It's an infrared device, right? Um, but this area of the Catholic Church has been, documented and quoted to be talking about, seeing extraterrestrial crafts like that you couldn't see with the normal eye, right? Like you couldn't see it with the naked eye. You see it through infrared, which is very fascinating because wasn't there like a story where I forget which wartime it was, either Vietnam or
It was Vietnam.
it was Vietnam, right? So
Hmm.
these guys are using these high tech night vision type goggles, right? But it's more, what were they? They're infrared goggles,
Yeah, but
something like that.
there's kind of a backstory to that. It wasn't so what was
So
happening.
explain that.
Yeah, so I guess what was happening, and Tarot House of Tarot, the guy on TikTok, he's
Oh
very
yeah, 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 yeah,
informative,
yeah.
kind of an
Okay.
esoteric guy, but very informative
So give me
nonetheless.
the debunked version first.
He he sells these kinds of glasses or goggles or whatnot, and the debunked version was that basically these new infrared goggles were the chemicals in the goggles were leaching into the eyes of the soldiers,
Okay.
thus causing them to hallucinate. But I believe House of Tarot somewhat debunked that debunking. So you'll have to go look into that for yourself. I'll have to look into it further.
Wow.
But
He debunked himself.
he well, no. So there was a guy
Just
that
kidding.
debunked it, and then he debunked the debunker.
Okay, so this was like a battle over social media, kind
This
of like
I'm confusing myself.
you are,
But
you are, you are. What's
but
going on here?
anyways, yeah. Nonetheless, these guys were seeing like demons flying around and dragons and
Yeah,
stuff in the
wicked
night.
crazy, wicked crazy.
There was one
But
story where the guy was he was like he saw an entire field of dead Charlie, an entire field of like
really,
dead soldiers, and then the next day they go there in the daytime because this was at night, and the next day they go there and there was no bodies. So he's like, I just hallucinated all these bodies.
oh my gosh,
So
could
there
you
was that.
imagine? I'd
Oh,
freak out, dude.
oh yeah, you'd be like,
Praise the Lord,
oh,
I don't
we
have,
mopped
I
everybody
don't have
down, and then
those,
you didn't.
I don't have those experiences. Thank the God. Um, it's weird, right? Like the Jesuit order and kind of what they claim to believe in God, but then they speak in a way towards this extraterrestrial race as like you know as a way to where once they've come here and evangelized with us,
Yep.
that there will be a different way to read the Bible and a different way to take its perspective. Which what I think that will look like is that these things are going to come here and teach the occult,
No doubt.
and they're going to say that the occult is what Christ was talking about,
Right, and all of the
and it's
esoteric people and the new age people are gonna go,
yep,
"Told you so,
ex-
Christians. I told
exactly.
you."
Exactly,
Yep.
exactly. And you already have this infiltration in the church that's already kind of like pushing that kind of stuff already. It's kind of like what Vicky was saying, last show. They're just sliding this new agey type of Christianity under the rug. It's
Yep.
infiltration. It's undetected because of deception, right? And deception can come with like just misdirection, right? It's kind of like a magician where they focus you on one thing just to pull your eyes
And then
away
steal your
from
tie, and then they put it on.
it, right? It's crazy, man. But Pope Francis, right? JD Vance visited him, I think that day.
Yeah, with eyeliner
Or
on. He had eyeliner on.
yo, for real, dude, Vance, what's up with the eyeliner, man?
Yeah.
What's up with the eyeliner,
I
dog?
guess it's just his eyes, but dude, there's what?
I don't know, dude. That's not normal, bro.
No, no.
I mean, maybe it's a condition. So I'm not speaking, in any,
Alright, let me
disrespect.
Google this.
But so, anyways, the interesting thing, I can't believe we're Googling that. It's awesome. you know, th- there's a video of him shaking hands with Pope Francis, right, that day. Obviously, Kushner is in the background. Like, what's he doing there?
Oh
But
yeah,
anyways, this handshake is going viral because it's supposedly a Masonic handshake, right? So and it looks like it. I want to be honest with you, it looks like it. It looks like a Masonic handshake. There's no doubt to it. I don't know really. I mean, when I shake hands, bro, it's normal. It's universal. I don't change the way I shake hands with people. Unless it's a girl, I'll shake your hand in a weird way, right? That almost looks like Masonic, but um, who knows? Who knows with that, right? I'm not too big on focusing on that and going, yeah, like that was like Masonic. But at the same time, I'm also like, hey, could be, dog. Could
right.
be. You know what I'm
You
saying?
should pull that up real quick and screen share that. So apparently, JD Vance has a
Let me see.
second row. It's a condition where you have a second row of eyelashes causing you to appear like you have eyeliner on, and it's called the dystachiasis.
Oh, okay.
So that's still weird. Still very odd. And then to say the other pope, all right, just to get that out real quick, we're looking at who is tipped to be the next pope. It is very possible the next pope could be from Africa. He does not
Really?
look like he's from Africa, but where the Catholic Church continues to add millions of members, Cardinal Ambongo is a leading candidate hailing from the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
I'm
There you
not going to
go.
get copyright, right? If I go ahead and share a website.
No, I
No,
don't think
right?
so. No,
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 okay.
no.
So
Joe
let's
Rogan
let's
doesn't.
let's let's do this.
We should be just fine. We should be just fine. So yeah.
All right, so you see it?
Wait, go back to it. That looked like a grandma shake. Let's see it. Let's see it. The handshake.
All right, so
Distatious.
we're not going to play the audio, but we will. We're just running the video of it right now. So check us out on YouTube, guys, if you're on the audio part of things, and you could see what we're watching and talking about.
They
Ooh,
gave him
nice
gifts.
gift.
Are those Kindles?
That's
My
an
son
Easter
loves
gift. This
those.
was Easter. This had to be
Okay.
Easter. Okay, so these are Easter gifts. Watch it not even show it on this video. Be pissed.
I mean, it did in the beginning.
It
It did
did, right?
in the very beginning. I just
Well, I'm
scroll it
gonna
on through,
try
scroll on
and.
back. Yeah, look at his eyeliner. Come on, bud.
I is is it? Oh, it's not gonna show it.
And I love how they're all scared to like touch their hands. They
Oh,
always
here,
put their.
here. Okay, okay. So,
Okay, let's see.
oh, I
Yeah,
missed.
yeah. I don't know.
I get it. He's an old guy,
Yeah,
right? He's an old
yeah.
guy. You don't want to like break his hand like how you would normally shake someone's hand at like a bar or something.
You know what
But
he did there, Stevie? I know exactly what he did there. You ever seen the movie The Interview? He put that little sticky thing on his palm. He put that little sticky thing on his palm. Son of a gun. On camera.
that is awesome. That is awesome.
So
But
we solved it.
hey, folks, yeah, we're gonna start screen sharing here in some of these episodes. I'm gonna start trying to work this here a little better.
Right
But
now.
yeah, you know what I'm saying with the handshakes, but
Oh,
that's just one of the things. That was your neck,
that
dude?
was my neck. Sorry about
Wow,
that,
yeah, all
folks.
right.
Sorry about that, folks.
You
Um,
okay?
so yeah, I don't think that was a Masonic
Nah,
handshake. I think that was
yeah, tomato,
unless he
tomato,
like
bro.
grabbed the ring. If he's wearing a ring and he like was like massaging his ring or something like that,
I mean, hey,
and then he put the
the
sticky thing on his
conspiracy
palm.
theorist in me is like, dude,
Watch every little bit. Watch every little
watch
motion.
everything, question everything, right?
Yeah, especially his
Um,
eyeliner. I mean, what is the deal?
I know,
He's
dude.
got an
I
extra
know,
row of.
I
He's a
know.
Nephilim. He's got an extra row of eyelashes.
I'm really curious what is going to happen, right? Who is going to take that place? Apparently, I forget which uh, you know, building this is in, but there's only one more seal left.
Right.
for the last pope,
Pull
meaning
that up. There you go.
so maybe I can pull that up here. Just tell the audience what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so I mean, I saw this on Sunday Cool. They had a Sunday Cool, Ninjas or Butterflies, all that deal. I love those guys. They've been killing it for so long now, and they've been covering the same stuff we have for so long. But they had a little short clip video, and I think they did an emergency podcast on this too. I didn't watch it, but they basically showed this building where there was like circular golden plate like spots for each pope, all of the popes that have ever been popes, and then there's Pope Francis, and then there's one more empty plot, and then there's no more golden plates, no more golden spots. So I think that's probably where the theory comes from.
So
But
are these the portraits of popes
right.
at St. Paul outside the walls?
Okay.
Is this like, so this is this, again, I don't know, but I will, share with the audience here in just a second. But um, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't really know how to zoom in,
Oh
but
yeah.
how do you zoom in with your
Um,
computer?
right click and I don't know.
Let's
Maybe
see.
maybe you could just play the ninjas or butterflies and scroll to the end.
You think I could do that?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Sam Tripoli's got a show called Doom Scrolling. He's playing everybody's videos on YouTube. So, you'll be good.
Okay,
We'll,
so
we'll
hold on.
be good.
I found it. I found it. I found it. I found it.
Nice. Yeah, oh, there you go. There you go.
All right.
Okay.
So this is what it looks like, right? This
R- Right.
is what you're talking about. And so
Right.
there's only one more slot.
You can't really see it on that picture. It's not
You
a really
can't
good
see
one.
it on this picture. What
Yeah.
is this called again? So this is Portraits of Popes.
Portraits of popes.
So
St. Paul. Outside the walls. What a Romanesque architecture. All of it. It's Rome,
trying
man.
to
There it is right there. See that picture? Right in
this
the
one?
middle. No, no, no. Go back.
Okay, well, hold on.
Right in the middle. Dead center. Down one. Down one. There you go. There's the empty
Okay.
slot. But it still doesn't show like there's no more room for another one. So maybe they just built the place wrong.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
There he is, Francis, and then there's the available slot
Right.
for whoever will take that next place.
Right. I wish it would have shown the other space because from what I saw, there's no other space for another plot. There's no other space for
Right,
another
right,
portrait.
right. It's come to an end.
It's come to
It's
an end.
almost like the Saint Malachi prophecy. It's almost like the prophecy of the popes might be real. Now, there's going to be people that are going to say, this is all constructed. This is constructed,
Organized.
organized confirmation of prophecy out of the Bible to deceive Christians.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
Interesting.
saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I've always said that was a possibility.
Right. And I get it. I get it. I get it. It's almost like I'm curious what preterism and little seasonness, would say about what's going on right now. Like if prophecy is happening as far as, and I know like this isn't biblical prophecy, but it could be possible that this is I think it's in Revelation, but I'll look it up right now where it talks about there's seven, I think, great kings, and then like there's like one left and like one more to come or something, and then like so it's parallel to be that the Pope falls in place with being the seventh king, and then there's only one more left. If that
Right.
makes any sense. But it's interesting though, I mean, maybe this is what it looks like to, because how I look at things now is like I always use both concepts. I'll use the tribulation, and then I'll use the Revelation 20. is Satan, loosened, and is he out deceiving to, bring the world together to go against, final war judgment with God, right? So what's that look like? I always kind of like put things in both fields and run it through, just in case. I don't think that hurts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't hurt to like take both sides for, I think it's actually maybe healthy to do so, maybe good to do so, because now you're fully equipped
Right.
against what could possibly happen, right?
Yeah, I gotta
Like,
put your pride down, put your everything down,
yeah,
realize you don't
I don't think
you
it
don't
hurts.
100% know, and then you're fully equipped, like you said. Absolutely agree with that statement. 100%.
You're equipped for
100%
everything, right? Like, you're super advanced,
aware.
knowledgeable, aware. That's the word I'm looking for, not advanced. But
I mean, advanced, sure.
I
Like
I
JD's
yeah,
eyebrows
right. Like,
or eyelashes.
I'm very special. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Special. He's so special.
You know what's very interesting too with this whole Pope thing that's going on? Just before all that happened, there's uh these archaeologists and these scientists. I think it's out of England or something. I could be wrong on that, but don't quote me on that. But there's
Yep. Werner.
uh
I already know you're going. Paul Werner, Dr. Paul Werner,
is this the guy? So
anthropologist.
so there's a claim that Jesus's
Yep.
body is
He
in
has
a
a
chamber in
hypothesis.
the pyramid.
Yeah, he has a theory that
Dude, you know that I predicted that with you. I was at work. We were on the phone together. I remember this, and we were talking about your theory with Elon Musk and my theory with like the image of the beast, and we were getting into it. And I talked to you, and I said, you know, when false Christ will arise, uh, this is like Matthew 24 stuff where it says, they're going to say Christ is in the chambers.
is in the desert,
Christ is in
right?
the desert,
Right.
and he's, but I'm not there. Basically, that's what he's
Right.
saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this happens now, and I'm like, okay,
Now, is that taken out of context? I heard some lady
could
talk about this too. Now, is that like,
it could be
is the
again?
scripture talking about current time for
That's
him, or
just only one way to look at it, right? Like, what do you mean?
like is
You
the
mean
scripture is Matthew talking about like during Jesus's time, like, or is this after Jesus was crucified?
no? So
This is after gospel. Okay,
this is the apostles asking Christ, when are the signs of your coming? Like,
okay, all right,
what are the signs of your return?
right, okay,
Right?
yeah.
And Christ just spills out this whole entire red lettered paragraph that's,
Oh,
3
okay,
stories long.
right.
But,
Everything in red
and it's
is what
great.
Jesus Christ said, right?
Yes, yes. And I advocate for reading Bibles like that because it's easy to read. You can see it puts things in perspective.
Yeah,
But, for sure. Um, but yeah, dude. So there's that article floating around, right, which is interesting. Maybe it plays in with that scripture, but then
dude.
again, when I look at that scripture, I look at the timeline of where it is in that scripture, and it's really close to when the sun is darkened and the moon is red as blood and all this kind of stuff. Big earthquake happens, and
Mm,
you know this is after the abomination of desolation. So I'm like, that hasn't happened yet. So
right.
maybe that's not talking about that, right? I'm just open to it. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah. I tried to
Um,
look this guy up, dude. This Dr. Paul Werner guy, or however you pronounce his name, the anthropologist, archaeologist that has this theory. I tried to look him up. Can't find him very
who's this?
easily. The guy that has the theory that Jesus Christ's body is
Oh,
under the
oh, oh.
pyramids.
Dude,
Under the
maybe you know what it's very interesting that I thought about is what if AI is just generating
BS.
propaganda
Yeah. Yeah.
and all this stuff. Dude, I'm seeing it a lot. You'll see it on your short rounds on TikTok as well. There's AI generated videos being put out. You'll see
Oh
where
yeah, tons.
it's not the voice adding up to it
Yeah.
and all that's, I mean, it's like,
Well, there's
what
really
is
good.
going
There's
on?
really they're getting better and better, and I've been able to discern them by seeing the camera moves too much. Like it'll be like a shaky camera, and the video's not very long. I just saw one today or yesterday where it's a deep sea, like a fish or a monster looking thing, but it looks like it could be a real animal in the ocean, and the camera wasn't shaky, but I watched it a few times, and I'm like, this is AI,
Yeah.
100%. And
Yeah.
the title was hard. It didn't say AI generated. I'm positive it was AI. So it's getting better and better and better. Yeah, we're not going to be able to tell in the next year. I
We're
don't
not,
think
dude.
so.
And
Yes,
when I
next year or
when I
two.
saw that, I was like, man, dude, I even think Hollywood, and this is where the actors now, why they went on strike.
Mm-hmm.
It's making sense to me now, and I think why we saw that reaction is because they were exposed to, maybe rumors that were floating around for the future,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And I think that the future is that AI is going to just generate films,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to be just as good as real
Eventually.
life, CGI, what that looks like, all that. It's going to look just
Mm-hmm.
like that, even better, and it's gonna move to that because it's gonna be just way too easy. And plus, film directors, they're all that's that you don't need a film director, all this kind of stuff. AI is gonna generate it for you. It's gonna be insane, dude. The consciousness of AI is just gonna keep multiplying and growing and compounding from its original state. There's no
Yeah.
stopping it. Good job, humans.
Yeah.
Good job. No, no, well done, dude. No, respect, bro.
Well done, devil.
No,
Well
Jesus.
done, you
Well
devils.
done, devil. Golly, I don't give him credit, but man,
I
you know,
mean, it's
hey,
crazy, dude. We're not going to be able to tell. I
I
mean, we got to
know.
get off. We have to boycott all of this stuff. We
Yeah,
have to. Um, and then they're going to boycott us. They're not going to allow us to have podcasts. They're already censoring as much as they well, not as much as they can, but they're
it is
censoring us.
tough, especially for channels like us to try and maneuver through the industry. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's walking on coals, man. I mean,
Yeah.
even almost, I would say almost every episode, it's one of my checkoff lists to go through and make sure we edit out certain things that the algorithm, the dictator, does not allow,
Yeah. We
and
have
we'll
to for
punish you.
YouTube. Yeah, we have to
We'll
for
punish
YouTube
you.
because if like, we'll get, if we slip up even once, then we're that one strike in the hole.
And I don't
You
like to
know.
conform to the world. I
Yeah.
don't. I don't. But if it's what it takes to spread the gospel, the message of the
Mm-hmm.
gospel, to spread, the authority of Jesus Christ, and to get that out there in some shape, way, or form, whatever that looks like, depending on different topics that we get into. I mean, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah.
We ain't going anywhere.
Kind of reminds me of um during the 2019 2020 years
Love
where
that.
there
Love
was
that time.
like nurses going around to doors, knocking on doors and stuff like that.
Oh
I
goodness.
told I told Christian, I was like, I'm gonna act like these crazy people. I'm gonna when the next lady that comes in my door, I'm gonna put on like 3 blue rubber gloves and like 4 masks and like a hazmat suit and answer the door and
Yeah,
be like,
Class A
"What do
hazmat
you
suit, dude.
what do you want? 6 feet, 6 feet, stay away now. 6 feet, back
Dude,
from my door."
I would have like a smoke machine set by the door, and I would kind of like start to fog out that area, but have like a smoke dye inside and just have it green, and I would be in like a yellow Class A haz suit, right? And uh and open the door, and then there's just like this green smoke in the air, and you're like in this suit, and you're just like, "Rah!" That'd be hilarious. That'd be
Oh no.
funny, man. That'd be funny, dude. Dude, so I wanted to also talk about this, the Apophis thing.
Oh yeah,
Apophis
yeah,
is
yeah. Let's get
interesting.
into that.
Let's get into Apophis a little bit, right? Apophis
Hmm.
is this asteroid, comet, whatever it is, right?
Hmm.
Meteor, that they've named Apophis, which is the Egyptian god of chaos and darkness, and the enemy of the sun god Ra. And I think there's a parallel here with Apophis in some way, right? There's a relationship between Apophis and the biblical description of Abaddon talked about in Revelation. Because Abaddon meaning um, destruction. So there's some like connection there a little bit, and the thing with Apophis and 2025 and 2029, there's a few things that can take place in this time period. They say 2027, it's going to come into our um, orbit. It's just not going to be that close. But 2029 is when it's going to, if it hits this keyhole, I
Hmm.
believe they said it could possibly hit Earth. But if it doesn't hit the keyhole and it comes in, it's still going to be as close
I'm gonna look up the
as
percentage
it
right now in
as it
2029. I think it's
possibly
3 to
can.
6%,
It's gonna
which is
be to where
high.
you could see it with the naked eye, 2029. So it's gonna be like drastically closer than 2027. Interesting thing with all of this, right? You have Alice Bailey. Alice Bailey, who is the developer of Lucifer Trust, I think it is. It's a writing company or something like that, but I think it's Lucis Trust now, and it's involved with the United Nations. It's involved with a lot of like weird stuff with that. Alice Bailey's a known occultist who, took a lot of studies from Blavatsky, who was another female occultist. And Alice Bailey wrote a book called The Externalization of the Hierarchy, which gets into like these ascending masters, these high conscious beings coming pretty much to Earth and evangelizing with Earth and accelerating our state of consciousness in a way, getting us to where we should be. And it's like, when I take that concept, man, it's just wild to me, man, because the Pope just passed away, right? So now you have the world's leader of Catholicism. There is no interpretation um authority right now in the church, because the Pope is the one that gives the interpretation to the rest of the churches.
Hmm.
Like, whether so how I see that is it that's how I see that, is that there is no authority right now in house. So depending on who comes in next, I'm seeing that, maybe it could have something to do with this externalization of the hierarchy and what that is going to look like. Is the world going to come into a one world religion? Who's going to make that happen? Is it going to be some person that's channeling an entity or something? Is it going to be an actual entity itself here on Earth? Or, does this make sense with the 2027 disclosure leaks that have come out about contact? Right? You've got the mothership that's coming inbound. You've got all these stories that I see are preparing us for something. What's that going to look like? Can only like speculate on it, but
Speculation
I think it's
station.
I think it's something that's going to happen. I don't think Alice Bailey is just BSing, right? And I think also involved in that writing and other writings that she's involved in is, there's going to be like a purification of the earth, right? And this is like where we can kind of take in and compare the alchemy, right? The alchemy with all this. There's going to be like a purification process of
Hmm.
the earth. And I even think that there's
Nothing new under the sun.
speculation based off of what they've talked about, that this is where the rapture, they're describing the rapture because they're talking about people leaving the earth. They're talking about people, being removed and cleansed and all this kind of stuff. Who knows, right? By these gods, pretty much, that they in some way worship. But it's all fascinating, right? The Apophis thing,
So they're
maybe it's
backtracking on
involved.
Apophis a little bit. When you
Who
when you
is?
Google it, when you AI it on Google or whatnot, initially it was a 2.7% chance. They discovered it, I think, in 2004, and it was a 2.7% chance of hitting. And now they're saying there's no chance. And I don't believe them. I
Really?
do not believe
Well,
them.
and this is where I'm like, okay, I'm always thinking of what movie has predictively programmed us for this
A bunch.
situation.
Few. Deep
And
Impact
there's
Armageddon.
exactly, and the most recent one that I could put my finger
Oh,
on
yeah.
is, Don't Look Up.
Yep.
Don't Look Up.
Yep.
And, there's a few different ways you can look at this whole, um, you know, scenario.
Yeah, John Cullen claims to be Leonardo DiCaprio in real life. He's an independent
That's
reporter,
awesome.
and he is quite the narcissist.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I think he's pretty, he does his due diligence and looks into stuff, but man, when I listen to him talk, some of the stuff he says and how he talks, I just, I want to hurt him a little bit. But
Oh, dude, I just made a connection with the externalization of the hierarchy when they're talking about that purification process. It's you can look at the alchemy of it, and when that happens, that there's a destruction and then a rebirth, right? Bro,
mhm.
what's Apophis called? What does Apophis mean? It's basically destruction.
Yeah, it's a god of
Right.
destruction.
So it's connected there with Alice Bailey. She's not even
Interesting.
talking about this.
Interesting.
Um, that's
Connection.
kind of weird. Boom.
Hmm.
Bam.
Bam.
Light the mic on fire.
Hide it.
Uh, but what do you think the one world religion is gonna look like?
A bunch
If
of,
if this is the theory that everyone's kind of speculating on that's gonna happen after this,
I
pretty
mean, if
much.
it's an actual religion and they believe, um, it's going to be, I guess, like what the Pope was saying. So all of these religions are going to believe in one God. I don't think it's going to be, I mean, maybe they'll
Or that
accept multiple.
all the religions have the same God. Is
That's
kinda
the
like
thing.
where he gets with is
That's the
what
thing.
he was pushing before he
What God?
he passed away,
Yeah, what God?
exactly, what God,
I think
right?
it might be the devil.
I think so too, man. I think so too. Is that bad to say? I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry,
I think a lot of people are
Catholics, I'm
ignorant to it
sorry,
too. I
just
think a
forgive
lot of
me.
people are ignorant to that.
I think so, man. I think there's a lot of symbolism that you need to pay attention to and give credit for. Involved in the Vatican, involved in the Catholic Church. There's a lot of paganism going on, folks. Like,
Yeah.
especially, I mean, when you look at the whole architecture setup of not only Rome but the Vatican. My mom just went to Rome and she went to the Vatican. She took a lot of pictures and all this kind of stuff. There's an obelisk, there's a dome. You got that set up there. Obviously, we've gone over that many times. That ancient Osiris worship there,
Hmm.
and there's a lot of Egyptian architecture involved there too, right? The Egyptians were using pillars as well, right? Rome has a lot of pillars, and what's interesting about Rome too, the Vatican, that there's 7 hills there.
Hmm. Oh
And
yeah.
so you get this connection with the biblical prophecy of the city with the 7 hills, right? And
Yep.
so that's interesting too, man. I think, goodness gracious, man. I almost want it to happen already, but I'm also like,
What happened
interested.
already?
Who's gonna take his place?
Oh, the Pope.
Yeah, like who's gonna take his place, right?
They got to vote, I guess. So we
Okay.
will find out.
Yeah, how does that process happen, right?
The
Um,
Cardinals vote. I guess there's a whole
Golly.
process to it.
If it's Kushner, all right, yo, it's happening, right?
What,
Like,
Kushner
what?
is the new Pope?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. What
is
if
that
it's
why
like
he was
Kushner?
there?
Who knows, bro? I don't know,
Kushner's
dude.
Jewish, bro.
I know, I
Can a Jewish
know.
guy be a Pope?
I mean, it's almost like let the Bible give you the answer, right? Like in Revelation chapter 2, it tells you Jesus is clearly saying that there are people out there that call themselves one thing but are another, right?
Hmm.
And I'll refrain from using words that I'll have to censor out later, right? But um and I think that's happening all over the place,
Mm.
especially with Christianity. I think people are holding that title, that badge. but they're
Mm-hmm.
not really of the faith. They're using it for public view and opinion and to manipulate people's emotions, right? And because it's almost like on Easter, you have people in our government and they're celebrating Easter and they're wishing it Easter a happy Easter, right? It's a Christian holiday. I won't get into like the other side of Easter, right? But um, they're putting on this show, this act, like they're happy for the holiday and all this stuff, but they're of a different religion, right? Like, how can you be? You know what I'm saying? Like, I get the why you have
Yeah.
to do it, right? But
Right.
at the same time, that's just obvious, and it's to me that makes me look at what are they lying about that they're not uh you know throwing in front of us,
Hmm.
like what are they putting in front like they're putting things in front of us that we obviously can see, and they're doing it like willingly, and then now I'm just so curious to where what are you doing that I can't even pick up on, right? Like, like
There's plenty.
it's deep. There's plenty. It's deep, man. It's deep.
Yeah. No, this is a confusing time. I really liked what Brian Demon Erasers had to say at the end there about Josephus and his accounts and the accounts of his time, and I'm curious about the little season stuff and what they think about a lot of this stuff and their narrative. I'm excited to have him on again and kind of dive into this because it is very convincing, a lot of the stuff he was talking about. And it's something I need to look into myself, with Josephus. And he was saying during a certain part of time, there was people that saw basically soldiers in the clouds. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And with swords and stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
thought that was interesting. But there's a lot of typologies right now, a lot of stuff going on where it's like, a lot of end
Right.
time
Well,
vibes
I guess
for
how I
me
would
anyway.
like examine that is, how much other writings are out there that can confirm that account. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That story. I think that's a intelligent way to go about it. Obviously, we do that with the Bible, right? Like to see how valid the Bible is. And
Right.
we should do that. It's almost like peer review. you know?
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't take something given to you over the counter if it wasn't studied, or peer reviewed and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
I mean, we can go. I mean, that's a whole
well,
nother subject, right? But
2019
anyways,
and 2021.
anyways,
Yeah, no. A lot of people
um,
took some stuff that wasn't really that good a peer reviewed, but
yeah.
yeah,
But
no.
anyways,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
no.
got what I was saying.
Yep.
You got what I was saying.
I
So
picked up what you put down.
yeah, but yeah, man, I thought this was a good show. I
Good
thought we
little
took yeah, good little combo, right?
little hopper popper.
Yeah, we just punched something out there, folks. But shout out to everyone in our community who has supported us, and we've seen that in the comments and all that kind of stuff. Appreciate you, folks.
Yeah, definitely.
It lifts our spirit, so we appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And if you haven't done so already, folks, and you're with us on YouTube, smash that subscribe button, like the show, share it with your friends. And we're going to try and do these emergency podcasts, undergrounds, lives. We're going to try and mix it up a little bit throughout the week. We're busy. We got lives outside of, the studio here. But
Do
if
we?
you're not on the YouTube side of things, you're on the audio. We appreciate you being there as well. And you can check us out on Apple Podcast. You can check us out on Spreaker, and you can also check us out on Spotify. While you're there, leave us a 5-star review and
I wanted to give a couple
give us a
shout outs
follow.
to
Yeah,
some of the comments on Spotify. I think
yeah,
we
yeah.
should start doing this. So I saw one that we briefly talked about the other day, and it's shout out to Alex AT. he commented on number 36 on Spotify with Brian, Demon Erasers. He said, "This episode really hit me, fellas. I've been in the process of fully getting my life in line with God, really reaching out after being lukewarm all my life. Thanks for the podcast." That really hit me a little bit. So I wanted to shout out to Alex AT on Spotify. Thanks, buddy.
Nice.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, and
And
there's
I'm
so
glad
many
you're.
people. There's
Yeah.
so many people that we have in the community that deserve like a shout out. And we'll work on something. I just want to make sure we get all the names right and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
I don't
No,
want
we'll
to
we'll start
fire
shouting people
anything out
out.
there, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
that comment did move me a little bit too, man. And I was like, man, that's awesome. That's awesome.
It's beautiful.
It is. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. But we appreciate you folks. And, tune in every Wednesday and Saturday. We premiere on YouTube, 8 o'clock p.m. And we usually drop our audio 5 o'clock a.m. that morning, Wednesday and Saturday. That's pretty much a fixed schedule, folks. So you can expect episodes on those days. And we'll try and mix in some episodes throughout the week. So appreciate you for tuning in. We love you guys. God bless you. See you next time.
See you.